Hey everyone, this week we're going to be talking about clauses and phrases. Now, last week we learned about parts of speech, and then this week we're going to be learning about clauses. The reason why you have to do parts of speech first is because the parts of speech make up clauses and the parts of speech make up phrases, and then we really want to get to types of sentences, but if we don't know what clauses are, then we aren't able to write sentences. So looking at clauses, we're going to just take note of the important vocabulary terms that you need to know in order to understand what makes a clause and what makes a phrase. So to start off, what is a clause? Well, a clause is a group of words that contains the following two things. You must have a clause, you must have a subject or a noun, and you must have a predicate or a verb. Now, what makes it a clause is that it can express one complete thought. Now, there are types of clauses that do not express one complete thought, but they can. And there's just a word that is added to the clause to make it not a complete thought, but otherwise it would be. So what is a subject? A subject is a noun or the person, place, thing, or idea the sentence is about. It's who or what is doing, is doing the action. Right? There's someone or something or an idea doing action in a sentence. Now, what is that action? It's known as a predicate. So this is the action or what is, sorry about that capital H, happening in the sentence. It's what the subject is doing in the sentence. So, doing in the sentence. I didn't have an is here. That's on me, y'all. Is doing in the sentence. So, pro tip, just, find the action word first. A lot of times it's easier for us to find the verb, and a lot of times nouns are longer or more difficult to find. So, and then once you find that action word or that predicate, and remember, the action words can sometimes not be action words. They can be being verbs. So, is, am, was, were. Is, am, was, were, are. So just keep in mind for that too. But ask who or what is doing this thing, and that will be your subject. Whatever's doing the action, whatever's performing the verb is the subject. Now, our two types of clauses. We have independent clauses. Now, independent clauses, right? An independent clause. Oh man, that's caps and all this other craziness. Sorry, everybody. Clause is a sentence that makes sense all on its own. All by itself. Okay, you can read it and understand the whole idea without needing any more words. Now, this can be as simple as, who is speaking right now? I am. That's a complete sentence. I am. Subject, verb. I, subject, pronoun. Am, verb, being. Okay, so a couple of examples. My sister baked chocolate chip cookies yesterday. We know that this is a complete thought because we have my sister, our subject, and we have a predicate, baked. Well, we baked chocolate chip cookies yesterday, but it's just this action word, baked. Thunder, subject, rumbled across the dark sky. Rumbled being our verb. What's happening here? Rumbling. The autumn leaves danced in the wind. What are they doing? They're dancing. As long as you have those two things, and there's nothing stopping this from being a complete thought, which we're about to talk about next, it is an independent clause and can stand on its own. Now, the other clause, the trickier clauses, dependent clause. So a dependent clause is a sentence, shouldn't say sentence, is a clause. Sorry about that. I will fix that. Is a clause that does not make sense all by, know how to type, itself. Now, it depends on another part of a sentence. It depends on another part of the sentence to make sense. For example, these are, I have a pro tip first. Pro tip first, ask yourself, does this make sense on its own? Can I read it and not be left hanging? So example here, a complete thought. The bus arrived late. We see it. That's an independent clause. But if you add this word because in front of it, It's now an incomplete thought because the bus arrived late. You are left wanting more information. What happened because the bus was late? What happened? I was 40 minutes late to school. I had to get driven to school by my parents. I decided just to not go to school and go back into my room and play Fortnite. There's a lot of things that are left hanging here because we don't know what the answer to this because is. That's what makes it why can't I think here? That's what makes it dependent. So dependent clauses begin with these things called subordinating conjunctions, which I thought I put subordinating conjunctions in here for you all, and I didn't for some annoying reason. I just dragged a slide. Hold on, I'm going to pause, come right back. My sincerest apologies for pausing. So here are the common subordinating conjunctions: after, although, as, etc., etc., etc. If you put one of these in front of an independent clause, it then becomes dependent. Now, unlike fanboys, it's really hard to remember all of these. You just have to look at the front of the sentence and start to ask yourself, or sometimes these are in the middle of a sentence and they're just separating the clauses, and just ask yourself, how is it being separated? Do I have an answer to this part of it? And it does take some work, but it's definitely a doable thing. So moving on to our second part here, phrases. Now, phrases are a group words that does not contain the following things. It does not contain a subject, predicate, verb pairing, and it does not express a complete thought. I should say express a complete thought. Now, right, we have 4 types of phrases that we want to focus on, but here's some examples. The big brown dog. Notice I don't have a verb with the exciting ending. Notice I don't have a subject or a verb. Have been studying. Notice I don't have a subject. Under the table. Notice I don't have a subject or a verb. These are phrases. They're not complete thoughts. They help, right? But they're not complete thoughts. So we have 4 types. Noun phrases, a noun and its modifiers. The old creaky house, right? Here's your modifiers, old and creaky. Here's your noun, house. That's all it is. Now, you already have noun phrases done for you. Verb phrase, the main verb plus any helping auxiliary. Auxiliary is another way to say like extra. Has been running. Has been running. Has is our main verb, but been running. Again, added verbs, but no subject. So it's just a phrase, adjective phrase, full of excitement. The dog is full of excitement, right? We don't have that though. We just have full of excitement. So a group of words that describes a noun. And then finally, a prepositional phrase. This is the one that I do need you to take notes for. So prepositional phrases consists of a preposition and its object, whatever it's talking about. Usually a noun or pronoun. This noun or pronoun is providing this prepositional phrase is providing additional information about time, location, direction. So, right, under the big tree. We know the location of the treasure. It's under the big tree. Got it? So, again, like the subordinating conjunctions, there are a gazillion prepositions. Here are some of the common ones. I'll probably leave this open for when you do your practices here in a second. So, this needs to be on its own slide. It will be when you guys get it. But here are just 2 pages of practices that I want you guys to work on. Essentially, right, practice 1, you are just telling me where the subject and the predicate are in these complete sentences. Here you're going to tell me, are these, I might make this smaller, I don't like how big it is, but anyways, are these independent or dependent clauses? Here, what type of phrase that you see, is it a noun, verb, adjective, or prepositional? And finally, some open-ended questions here at the end. Okay, and then I will check it, and then there will be a graded practice after that. So we're just building up our grammar skills, parts of speech, now clauses and phrases. Then we're going to move into types of sentences. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And as always, thank you guys for watching. All right, bye everybody.